Intelligence System Analytic Computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
What's up, guys? You're listening to episode 142 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of The Division. And today, we're going to be talking about the Dark Zones. Yes, I can say that officially. But first, my name is Mike. Joining me are my co-hosts, Robert.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So nice of you to join us on the podcast.
Sorry, I'm not on shift anymore. I apologise. I'm working my nuts off.
I was going to say, what are you changing into? And hello, Luke.
Hello.
Thank you for being here, as always, dude.
Not as always, but yeah, you're welcome.
As always. More than some people.
Thank you.
I'm messing. I hope you guys and our listeners have had a great week, and welcome to any new listeners of the show. Let's get down to it.
State of the game.
Okay, so for events going on in the Division this week, there is no maintenance as of... We're doing it on Thursday. There's no maintenance at all this week. Luke, there's a global event still active as far as I know.
There is, yeah. It started on Monday the 14th. Will run through to next Monday, which is the 21st, and it's the Strike global event. Path of the Nomad, D3, Predators Mark, and Banshee are your gear sets. Yeah, so if you still need those, get to grinding. That's it, really.
Nice. Thank you very much. Okay, straight into the news. So today, Thursday, the 17th of January, we finally got Darkzone and PvP news. And my God, if you haven't checked out the trailers, please go check them out. They are freaking awesome. Do you agree, boys?
Wholeheartedly, yes.
Yes, definitely. Are we going to mention the fact that we had a story trailer as well? Or is everyone just a bit like...
I think it might have got overshadowed by this news today. But we'll give our quick thoughts at the end. Okay?
Cool.
Okay.
Before we do go any further on regards to, obviously, Darkzone and PvP news, are you glad that they held off on this DZ news till now? Now, I know everyone's been kicking off over the past couple of months over the fact that we haven't heard anything. There was like the whole embargo thing that was going around on Twitter, the fact that, not embargo, but people had thought that the game was getting pushed back and stuff like that. And it was like, what? Where have you got this idea from that they're going to be doing that? So are you kind of glad now, after seeing what you've seen today, that you didn't see this back in December? And it's like out so close to release.
Yeah. It makes sense to keep the hype train closer to the release. Like, obviously, there's not long until we're going to be playing the beta, so we would have figured this out by then anyway. So they kind of have to start it now, and then a lot of the stuff is going to be figured out when we play the beta, isn't it, I guess?
I agree. I think it's just very strange timing to release it the day after the story trailer. I think they could have left it maybe another couple of days, maybe drop this, maybe even a week, just drop this next week, like early next week or next Thursday if they're not having a state of the game or whatever. I mean, maybe there is a state of the game next week and they had to move the timeline along a little bit, but it just seems strange that you get one trailer and then you get two more today when we've had nothing for, 2 months? Month and a half, whatever it was, so...
Or it might have been a direct result to the response from the story trailer being a bit meh.
No.
Could also be true. Maybe they pushed it forward a little bit. I mean, that story trailer was a bit meh, but the Darkzone stuff more than made up for it today. I'm fucking so happy right now. It's untrue.
I'll say now, there's no way that the two PvP videos that came out today, and obviously they streamed on Xbox, like a whole load of information over on Mix. There's no way that information came out today as a result of the story trailer, because we would have known about this through the official PlayStation magazine, which was due out today anyway. So there would have been no way of pushing that, if you know what I mean.
Good point. I wonder if the story trailer got delayed any then. Like it just seems strange that they were literally the day after each other, that's all.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Raid news.
No, I think maybe a couple of weeks before.
I was joking, dude. It was a joke.
Actually, I don't know. When? No, I don't really.
We
want
won't
to go
get
into it
raid
because
news
we got a
until
lot to talk about
after
as
the
it is.
release. I hope that would be my hope.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Rob.
Anyway, let's get down to it. So there's three Dark Zones this time. I can actually discuss some Dark Zone stuff with you now, boys, because I know you've played the alpha. I know you're still under NDA. But we can kind of talk about it now, I guess. Yeah.
Redacted?
Yeah.
No, we can.
Is it official now? So, yeah?
Yeah.
Help. Okay, so yeah, there's going to be 3 Dark Zones this time. They're going to be split up. So you can have Dark Zone East, Dark Zone South, and Dark Zone West. They're going to be split into different gameplay styles. So let's have a look. The largest of the 3 will be split, and it will be able to utilize long sightlines over overgrown governmental parks.
That's
I take it
Dark Zone East. You said that was split. That's just Dark Zone East. Dark Zone East is the biggest.
East, sorry. Yeah. It sounds like we're going to be bringing out some sniper rifles for that one. And then we've got Dark Zone South, one of the smallest Dark Zones, and the emphasis is placed on close quarters combat. That sounds really fucking good to me because that is something I'm sure a lot of us like. And then you kind of have Zone West, which is medium range engagements.
No, so they've done. Oh my god. So
yeah, but there'll be ways around that. That's just what they're hoping people will play it as, isn't it? People are going to find a way to.
The fact that they've kind of like aimed it at different weapon types
and different play styles as well. But I would assume that the door's still open to use different weapon types and game styles, like play styles in those various Dark Zone areas.
Yeah, people are too clever with games, aren't they, to not figure out how to tweak the system almost. It's perhaps the wrong terminology to use, but you know what I mean. Like if they're supposed to be using a sniper rifle in Dark Zone East, people are going to find a way to sneak and flank and whatever else, aren't they? So,
okay, so obviously this has been rumored for a long time. How do you feel about the fact that we've got 3 Dark Zones compared to what we had before?
I think it's awesome. I think they're giving everyone what they wanted. Like we're going to go through it, but there's like literally all the people that have been bitching about the Dark Zone and how they want to change it. They've literally given you 3. One's going to be very PvE based. One's going to be in the middle, and then one's going to be completely let loose, nuts, balls to the wall PvP.
Yeah,
it's fucking brilliant, amazing, love it.
Yeah, they really have kind of listened to the player base on this one, and kind of it kind of feels like anyone that was ever worried about playing in the Dark Zone, you now have options available to you no matter what you think of it. So you can't. They're trying to make it so you can't complain, I guess, about the Dark Zone. We've had a lot of instances in the past where people won't go into the Dark Zone because they're PvE only, but they're now. It feels like they're trying to draw people in more so than they ever did in the Division 1.
Yeah, I think the only thing that the community has been asking for, and it's only certain sections of the community that they don't seem to have listened to with all the information we've got thus far on the Dark Zone, is a PvE only Dark Zone, and they've categorically stated that was never going to happen because it's not what the Dark Zone was for. So that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head that people aren't getting. Obviously, we don't know all the information yet, but
I mean, just reflecting off that, I still stand by the fact that if we have a PvE Dark Zone, what sense does that make?
It doesn't. No, I agree with you. Yeah,
because as we've always said, and we've said this for a long time, if the LZ is just as good as the DZ, there shouldn't be a problem there at all. And that, by the sounds of it, is what is going to happen with the Division 2. Because we're going to have dynamic events and other stuff going on that we don't even know about yet. We only know really about what control points in the open world. I'm sure there's going to be a shit ton more. Okay, so alongside these new DZ areas is normalization. What? We've got normalization in the Dark Zone.
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Is this make or break? Do we hang up our division coats now? Or, I mean, how do we all feel about this?
When I first heard it, I was a little bit worried, but the next topic that we talk about kind of cancels out the worry that I'd got, so it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I think, like you said before, it makes the Darkzone fairer, doesn't it? So I'm happy with it. You know, I used to live in the Darkzone. I'll now live in some other areas of the Darkzone. It's fine.
I thought you lived up north, mate.
Only to you. I live in the middle. How many times do I have to tell you this?
Midlands.
Yeah. Right? It says so in the title.
Roberts,
What
do you reckon about normalization? Are you happy with this change? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
As long as it's done right. And you can't normalize gear sets. You can only normalize stats. So
Very true.
there's still going to be things that are stronger than others, which I like. So that's, yeah, you're still going to have to put a build together, even though it's normalized. So yeah, it's good.
You know what they've done by doing this, don't you? They've given everybody 6-piece classified sets with an optimization table without doing those things.
Yeah.
Because that's all everybody's got at the moment is normalized Darkzone. And like Rob says, it's just the gear sets that make you more powerful or not.
But this is what we saw with...
I feel sorry for the YouTubers
1.8?
though, because they're not going to be able to make like YouTube videos about how to maximize your stats.
Yeah, but
well, we'll see. We'll see in a minute when we get there. So
yeah.
But it is kind of funny that this is like the next step up from optimizing your gear from the Division 1, isn't it? Instead of optimizing it, it's basically built into the game now. Because I always said the whole idea is obviously DivTech was like the carrot on the stick, but it was also to enable the player base to kind of bring balance between everyone's builds.
Yeah, but just remember this is only in the Darkzone. So you might still have to optimize and maximize your gear for raids and incursions and whatever else we're getting outside of the Darkzone. So that would be good. If you get both, you need to maximize your gear for all your PvE stuff, but when you walk in the DZ, it doesn't matter what you're rolling, it's going to be top-end gear.
Yeah. I'm happy with it as long as the normalization is done right and the builds and everything else are obviously tuned correctly, which I have faith that they will be because of the amount of time I can imagine that they've put into it. Do you think a lot of people are going to be pissed off with this change, though?
No.
Potentially concerned about it to start with. But, I mean, it depends how it plays, doesn't it? If they jump into the Darkzone on day one and it's awesome, they're instantly going to forget that they were ever worried about it, aren't they? But if it's annoying or if it's shit or if it doesn't work quite right, it's going to be the worst idea in the world. As is players, scale of emotions. It's either the best in the world or it's a pile of shit. There's no in between, is there? So
yeah, this is no longer the Division 1. We have to forget the past and move on. Yep. This is the new game, and we basically have to embrace the changes. And it's obviously there to make the playing field level for everyone now, not just the top 2% or 10%, whatever it was before. Okay, so off the back of that, obviously we've got normalization in the dark zones. However, once you reach the end game for the Division 2, dark zones will start becoming occupied for set periods of time. And during this time, the dark zone will not be normalized. This is a dynamic server-wide event, and all the expected dark zone rules will change, completely throwing out the rules of SHD and Rogue. And at the end of the day, you will just be a player in the dark zone in a hardcore environment trying to get the best rewards you can during these events. How fucking cool does that sound?
Well, it's the original Darkzone, right?
It is,
but like harder. Because you can't see Rogue anymore. Like if you're Rogue, you don't flag.
Okay, 1, this feels like a free-for-all. 2, it's a timed event. 3, we've been asking for this for a while.
4, you forgot to mention that friendly fire is always active in occupied dark zones as well.
Yeah. So original DZ.
This
have-
this is the bit of the video that actually made me gasp out loud when I was watching it. And my girlfriend, who was in the kitchen at the time, was like, "What the hell are you watching? What's getting you so excited?" I was like, "Division 2, Dark Zone."
She's like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Well, she's not from Manchester, but yeah, she said that.
She's from the Midlands, Mike.
Different northern area.
You're great at impressions, but not me and Natalie.
But have we not discussed this before? This was an IFM.
Oh, dude, you can't keep going back to those. We
No, I
came up
know,
with so
but
many
like-
fucking ideas.
I know. And I know they took like the Division community's like ideas, but it's just it's the purge. We asked ages ago, we asked for a timed event, which was a free for all, whether it was in like the LZ or the Dark Zone. I can't remember. And it's there.
Yeah.
That's
They
fucking
even
cool.
say purgatory, don't they, in one of the videos? I'm pretty sure.
That's fucking cool. That's why I like the fact that occupied. So you're gonna have like this normalization mode where everything's fair, and then you're gonna have like this sweet timed event where everyone's gonna rush into the Dark Zone and be like, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
My question now is, what is gonna be pulling people into the Dark Zone during this event? Because it's not like you could have any reason to just get the fuck out. Do you know what I mean? Shit. Occupied Dark Zone starts in 5 minutes. We got to get out, extract and get out.
I don't think it's all the dark zones at once. Is my
No, I know.
understanding of one of the videos.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're going to rotate.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. What is going to be the draw for you to go into the Dark Zone during these periods of time? Obviously, it's going to be the atmosphere and the intensity of it, but...
Well, some people aren't going to like this version of the dark zone, are they? It's going to be too difficult or too hardcore, maybe, so they'll clear off in the other one. So
the Division's thing is like risk reward, so you would assume this
there's going to be greater risks.
Better or more loot.
Again, they did make reference to better loot in one of the videos, didn't they? They basically stopped short of saying it, but they were like, we can only imagine what rewards are on offer for completing activities in the occupied dark zone or something to that effect on
God
the
roll exotics.
Yeah, right. Just raining from the sky.
Okay, so now there are new ways to go rogue in the Division 2. We have at least, was it 3 or 4? Have we decided on this yet? Because technically they put out in the video that it was 3, but it seems a bit...
The middle one's got like kind of 2 stages.
Yeah, it's like 3.5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is rogue. You will have a grey rogue marker, which will is for any non-lethal and anti-agent activities. Obviously, the one we all know and love is the red rogue marking, which will announce you as a disavowed rogue agent. And this is when you've obviously killed someone under a rogue status, and then you become disavowed for anti-agent activity. And finally, the one I'm sure you all will love, manhunt status. So you will become a high priority target after performing multiple rogue activities. Do you like this split up of the rogue system that we had before, rather than you're rogue or you're not rogue? That's pretty much what it was before.
My understanding of the videos and other stuff is that it's just an evolution of Rogue 2.0 from Division 1. So going rogue with the red skull is still Rogue 2.0 toggle button. Then when you kill somebody, you get disavowed rogue, which increases your timer up to the point where you reach manhunt status, and then the only way to clear manhunt off is by buying it off, as is with Division 1. The grey rogue skull is if you do non-friendly but non-lethal anti-agent activities, which are stealing squad members' loot, which I find really interesting. Like, if you piss me off, Mike, I'm going to steal your shit.
You can steal my shit, it'll still be shit.
Hacking shade terminals, stealing Darkzone drops for yourself rather than for your squad, which seems a bit selfish to be fair, but whatever.
The Grey Rogue, you can take damage. Once you've initialized that, you can then take damage from other players, right?
Correct. So Grey Rogue is basically like Stealthy Rogue. So you won't show up on the map. So the Red Rogue and the Manhunt Rogue still show up on the map like they do in Division 1. If somebody sees you as Grey Rogue, Rob's right, they can shoot you and you can shoot them back, but you don't appear on the map. So you're just running around the map like any other normal player, apart from the fact that you can now engage in PvP. However, if you do kill somebody that attacks you whilst you're grey, you instantly go disavowed. And then you start obviously increasing your time. So that's kind of like,
it gets rid of that 19-second timer, doesn't it, sort of thing? That's kind of another way of them doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And obviously, off the back of the Grey Rogue, I guess we're gonna have to call it. G Rogue, as I've seen it marked on Twitter. If you perform a certain amount of activities under that status, your thievery will reveal a hidden signal, and then eventually you'll be what?
Nothing.
You're nodding. You're shaking your head.
I was just like in amazement.
Oh, I thought you were having a fit or something. You feeling better now?
No.
Oh, okay. And you're going to be able to eventually unlock a secret entrance to the Thieves' Den, which will give you access to a special vendor, tempting sweet wares. Are we saying Zers in the Darkzone, boys?
Luke has no idea what you're talking about.
Who the fuck is
Well, those people that played that game.
You almost said it.
I almost said something else. I didn't say that. I almost said something else. Yeah. Also, you have to come here to basically clear off your rogue status as well, which is kind of cool.
Your Grey Rogue status, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's hacking enough shade terminals, I think, because I watched Marco Stiles' video from the media event. I've watched half of it, and he was just talking about the G-Rogue stuff. As you go around the map hacking these shade terminals that are fixed to walls and whatever else, you unlock a percentage of where this Thieves' Den is located. And then when you unlock it, it appears on your map and you can go to it. It takes your G-Rogue timer off, and then obviously this vendor appears. So
I'm wondering if they rotate. Do you know what I mean?
The safe house, the safe house-ish thing moves around, right?
Yeah, that would be quite cool. Do we know if that actually happens, or are we just speculating there?
He didn't get to that in his video, so I'd like to think it does.
Yeah, because otherwise you're following a signal to the same place.
Yeah,
kind of like you don't need to do that.
You wouldn't need to follow it, would you?
Unless you have to hack enough terminals to actually unlock it anyway.
Okay, that's pretty much it for rogue status. What do we think of the changes to the rogue status? Are you happy with that?
Whoa. We haven't discussed the manhunt status yet.
Okay.
And how you can make it harder for yourself.
Go, Rob. Do it.
Well, is there 3 terminals, did you say, Luke?
Correct.
You can sabotage 2 of them, making your manhunt even harder, and then when you eventually get off your manhunt on the last terminal, you get better loot, better rewards.
So basically, I assume you go... I mean, I haven't checked out Marco's video. I've literally had enough time to check out the Intelligence Annex that's up there and a couple of the PvP videos that they were put out today. But was it a case of you basically go there, you destroy it, and then you move on?
I don't know if you destroy it. I think you hack it, or basically you go to unlock it and tell it that you don't want to unlock it. So basically you get to manhunt the same way that you do in Division 1, and then your manhunt terminals arrive. And like Rob says, it is 3 rather than 1 this time. So you can choose any of the 3 of them and go on and pay your manhunt off if you want to and get some loot, or you can cancel one of them, leaving you 2, and go and pay off one of those 2 and get slightly better loot than the first time around. Or you can hack both 2 of the 3 and go to the last one. But obviously by doing that, you're telling everybody where you're going.
Everyone knows where you're going, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
basically, you can either do it the Division 2 way, or you can turn it into the Division 1 way where there's only one terminal, make it difficult for yourself. But I mean, the other thing we haven't spoken about yet, and I don't know if I'm jumping ahead on the script or not. Yes, I am, so I won't say it. Never mind.
It's my fault. I pushed it forward a bit, but
Cool.
Yeah, that's why I moved the next bit up.
Yeah, but I like that because, you know, depending on the quality of the players in your server, going manhunt itself might be difficult. Then if you're finding it easier, you can make it harder for yourself, but obviously the risk-reward thing pays back in again because, you know, if you turn it into Division 1's type of manhunt and there's only one terminal left, the rest of the server is camping that terminal because they know where you're going because it's on the map. It's then worth the extra effort, or should be worth the extra effort. We don't know what loot you're going to get for this, but I'd like to think it's pretty decent.
So you're pretty happy with the changes that have been made to the rogue system?
I like it. It's a nice
Rob.
evolution. It's not the same shit that we had before. It's similar, so people will still make it feel familiar. Do you know what I mean? But it's I say it's an evolution of it. I like it.
Yeah, it's the next step.
Yeah.
Rob?
Yeah, I agree. It's like you just took the words out of my mouth. Off my face, into your mouth.
Off your face. I'm happy with it. I like the fact that we don't have to just do one thing now to go rogue. You're going to have Darkzone drops like what we've got now. They're there clearing the video.
Yep.
You can see them. So they're making a comeback straight away. We haven't got to wait for an update. I wouldn't have thought there. It's quite funny because if you look at a lot of the things that are in these videos, they're going to be there day one. I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know that's obviously not confirmed, but by the looks of it, everything that's shown in the trailer will be there at launch. So
yeah, I think they pretty much are confirmed, aren't they? Like without them actually saying the words, these will definitely be in the game on release. By putting them in the first Darkzone trailer, you're kind of saying they're going to be in the game at release, aren't you? So I mean, we did an episode a while ago that said, you know, the new game's coming, the content's going to be great, they're working on it, they're going to make it better, it's got to be bigger, better, and more of it. And then we put a tagline on the bottom of it that basically said, you know, have some patience, you might not get everything on day one. And they seem to be throwing it at us. So,
but this feels like a pure reaction to everything else that's been going on in the gaming industry, especially with sequels. I'm going to use the D word. Destiny, they stripped it back. They stripped it back for the sequel.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing here is stuff that, I mean, we don't know. I don't know if there's contaminated events or anything similar to that in the sequel at the minute. Obviously, the rogue changes themselves, that's completely different. And how, you know, the dynamic events that are going to be happening in the Darkzone are additional. That's additional already to what we had in the Division 1.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got Darkzone drops.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you're no longer worried about it coming out as a stripped back game.
No.
More content coming along the line.
But we've spent 6 months basically saying, right, we understand not everything's going to be there at launch. It's going to be added to. And they've kind of gone, nah, fuck that. You know, almost everything that you had from the Division 1 is going to be there when it launches.
Well,
and some.
That just makes me excited for what they are going to bring to the game.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's what I was just going to say when Mike had finished, because he said about contaminated events, but you're getting occupied DZ events maybe instead of that. But later on in the game, it might be as well as that. So you've got 3 dark zones.
Occupied,
so one of them will be occupied, one of them will be contaminated, and one of them will be normal, maybe. Like you say, you've already got the dark zone drops in there. What else do we get in the dark zone nowadays?
Well, you get to kill people.
Contamination events.
Kill people.
Yeah,
supply drops, and that was it, wasn't it? But yeah.
I mean, we could have you're going to have landmarks or monuments, as some people are calling them.
Now.
That's it.
But I mean, I've seen people call them monuments, but I've seen them called landmarks in the game.
I think they'll struggle to shake off the landmark tag, to be honest.
Unless it's 2 different things. Do you know what I mean? You might have landmarks and then you might have monuments as well as landmarks. So they might be like a greater landmark, if you know what I mean.
Possible.
I don't know.
Possible, yeah.
Okay, so straight off the back of the rogue system and obviously the 3 dark zones, server capacity. This is something really interesting. This is, I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this, but I think something that we kind of wanted was probably more. Would you assume we wanted more people in the Dark Zone? Back in the
more is
Everyone
better,
wants
right?
more, Mike.
Okay.
More.
Well, yeah, I know, but we've been like, maybe we'll get like 32 players in the Dark Zone. Can someone tell me in the Division 2, how many players will we have in the Dark Zone at a maximum at one time?
12.
I mean, we have 12.
Right. So that's three teams
That's
of 4.
half. That's half.
Three
what
teams,
we
yes,
have now.
but understand that the Dark Zones are smaller. And there are 3 of them.
Yes.
Well, if you go into a Dark Zone and you're looking for PvP and there's no one in that Dark Zone, go to the next one.
Go to the next Dark Zone.
There you go.
See, question answered.
12
Next.
is great because I don't know about you, but I don't like to be chased by a complete server of 20, what is it? 20 other players. But 8 other players you could probably deal with quite easily.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if you agree with us, Luke, but obviously the Dark Zone that the huge issue that we had with the previous Dark Zone, or the Dark Zone we have now in the Division 1, is the fact that you've got this huge area that when people go rogue or they want PvP, they're going from one end to the other. That's 6. No, it's not. It's 9 areas for people to run through. Obviously, the Dark Zone areas in the Division 2 are smaller, and the player capacity is smaller. So you're going to get more combat in theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool because you could team up with another team to take down a squad, and then you could go fuck that squad over that you've just teamed up with. Rather than like the two, do you know what I mean? You're not going to have
a massive smile get upon Luke's face. Or is it about to just rip the shit out of both of us and just completely disagree?
I'll probably be like, what the fuck are you on about?
Why the fuck haven't they given us 36 players in each of them? Fuck's sake.
I just think this is going to combat all that shit that we had with the chicken dancing, the 8-player.
Yeah, there's one more thing we need to understand, like less latency because less players. That's a big plus for me. That's a big pro rather than a con.
Luke,
I hear what you're saying.
I'm just going to say now, butts are for pooping.
Here comes the rant.
No, I'm not going to rant because I haven't really played it. Redacted. So I will almost certainly change my opinion of this when I've played it. But 12 does seem a little low to me. I'm not saying 24. I'm certainly not saying 32 because they've made it quite clear that the Dark Zone's been split into 3. So I'm fine with it being a lower player count. Just if you're having teams of 4, I'd have liked it to have been more like 16 at a push 20. Just because at the moment, if there's 12 players in there, 3 teams of 4, because we'll get onto the matchmaking mechanics later, but basically if you're in a 4-man squad, you're likely to be up against other 4-man squads. This is the Dark Zone, so it's PvP and PvE. Just because you're in a 4-man squad looking for PvP doesn't mean the other 2 squads are there for PvP. So there's the chance that you won't find the PvP that you want. If you do find the PvP that you want, there might only be one other squad willing to engage you in said PvP. So whilst I agree with you that the player density will be better because the Dark Zone area is less, you've got less chances for PvP because there's less players in there that may or may not be willing to PvP. I don't think it'll be a problem because everybody knows what the Dark Zone is. Everybody knows what the Dark Zone's about. I'm just putting that argument forward because I remember the good old days back of 1.3 when everybody was happy. Sorry, I'll say that again. Not everybody was happy to engage in PvP, but there seemed to be a lot more PvP in the Dark Zone of people willing to actually participate rather than 24 people standing around waiting for 4 people to go rogue. It was more willing PvP. So it will almost certainly be more willing PvP to start with. But once the Darkzone gets a little bit more stale, or all the loot has been grinded for, it's just going to be a smaller chicken dance of waiting for people to go for PvP, in my opinion.
I agree.
Sorry, Rob.
I agree with the 16 players because there's other games that have done that. Like we used to play squad deathmatch, didn't we, on Battlefield?
Yeah,
which was
that
teams
is
of
what
4.
Yeah.
Which worked really well. Like that was a really good game mode and it was very well done. But Battlefield had huge maps. Probably bigger than the Dark Zones.
I don't know, because not when you do like squad deathmatch or anything like that on Battlefield. Which is effectively what this would be. It would be a smaller map.
And another counter argument, I mean, we haven't talked about it yet, but there are some PvP modes that have also been announced today. So if you're not getting the PvP you want in the Dark Zone, then you just hop onto the PvP modes.
That's true.
The PvP mode. I can't say it.
That's true. And, in this game, with the Dark Zone being normalized, or the regular Dark Zones being normalized, it's probably more likely that the PvP between the two sets of PvP, if you like, are going to be a lot more similar. Now, I seem to find that in Division 1, if you don't like normalized PvP, you stay in the Dark Zone. And if you're just there for PvP regardless of what you want, you go and play Skirmish nowadays, don't you? Because Last Stand takes you forever and a day to find a match, and Dark Zone can be quite toxic. They've done something about the toxicity, which I'm not sure if it's in the script for later. If it's not, I'll bring it up later. But with normalization potentially being across the board, because again, they haven't said it about the PvP modes, if I'm not mistaken, Rob.
No, they have. It's
That's normalized as well, is it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the PvP might be very, very similar, if not identical, just obviously the maps being different and the point of the PvP, if you like, the actual mechanics behind the PvP being different. So, yeah, if you're struggling to find PvP in the Dark Zone, great, fuck off and play Skirmish or whatever. But to me, I'd have just liked a few more players just in case you get in a server where nobody's particularly bothered. Because then what will happen is, let's say us 3 and Boris want to go rogue. We start killing guys who don't want to fight back. You just get the same argument that you've got in the Dark Zone at the moment, that we're just griefing players. And that's not what it is. We just want some PvP.
I understand that point of view, but I will say this. If they've been fighting to make the Dark Zone a fairer place, right, for everybody, whether it's PvE players or PvP players, then PvE players now have a fighting chance, no matter what happens in the Dark Zone. And that might then, in turn, switch those people to be PvP.
Oh, yeah, I agree. That's why I say I will revisit my opinion on this when we've played it, because I'm just voicing my primary concerns, if you like. I'm hoping it's fucking awesome, because I'm hyped as fuck to play it right now. But I'm just
plus, I don't know whether you're forgetting about the occupied stuff. People going into occupied Dark Zones aren't going to be going in there to.
Oh yeah,
PvE.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm just talking about the regular Dark Zone, because the other thing with the occupied Dark Zones, and I'm guessing that there's still 12 players, but they never actually said what the player count is of an occupied Dark Zone. So that could be better, bigger, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'll just live in the occupied Dark Zone. It's fine. I'm hyped to play it all. I really am. It's not for anybody that's listening that works for Ubisoft or Massive or whatever. I'm not trying to put a down on it. I'm so excited to play the Dark Zone right now. You would not believe the size of the smile that's on my face.
It's just a big change.
I'm just trying to give some balance to the argument of, oh, look, it's all shiny, new and brilliant, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair, because to be honest, we look at stuff a lot of times in a positive light, and that's a huge change. You're halving the player count in the Dark Zone, but then if the Dark Zone areas are smaller, but then I'm trying to think, you're going to get rid of that thing where one person goes rogue and you've got another fucking 10 people shooting you down within about 10 seconds.
Oh yeah,
that shit's going to be gone.
I can see all the benefits for it. I really can. Yeah, really, really can.
Like the other side is, they might have tried this with 16 players. This would have been tested. They would have been like, I can imagine. The other thing as well is, we're looking at 3 teams of 4. What if it isn't 3 teams of 4? I mean, we don't know how the matchmaking of the servers are going to work out, but it could be a team of 3. It could be a solo player. You could have 2 teams of 2 in there. It could be a bunch of random groups together in one Dark Zone.
Also,
it could be a team of 4, and all the rest of them fighting back as individual groups, and then causing conflict between them.
Let's assume that the 3 Dark Zones combined are a similar size as the Dark Zone we have now, splitting it into 3, and then putting 12 players in each means that the actual player per area is going to be more than you have now.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I've given the argument about if people don't want to PvP, blah, blah, blah. If you get 6 teams of 2 or 3 teams of 4 in a Dark Zone together who want to PvP, that shit's going to pop off and it's going to be fucking awesome. So
2 teams of 6.
That's cheating.
I know, but it could happen, right?
I mean, you could get 1 team of 8.
Oh no!
I like the way you just killed that.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be good. I'm just giving a counter argument for it because that is, to be honest with you, that's the only bit of the videos that I saw when they said, "Oh, player count will be 12." I was like, "Oh,
nah."
No, I'll be honest. I listened to that. I was like, "What?" I can understand it, but
Did
what?
you bleat like a sheep?
No, I didn't. Okay. All right, let's move on because we got a lot to cover yet, and we're probably about halfway through.
Oh, no.
Let's hope
I
not.
need to pee already.
hang on." I've been down the script. There is nothing in there about matchmaking, is there? So, do you want to talk about that while we're talking about the servers?
There is one thing to do with matchmaking, which I want to talk about later on.
Sorry,
Okay.
I missed that then. Keep going. I apologize for interrupting you.
You're welcome. Okay, so you asked for it. They delivered. We're finally getting indestructible turrets at the checkpoints to avoid checkpoint camping. These will target rogue or AI that crosses its path. So you've been warned. Are we happy with that, boys?
Yeah, really happy.
Ditto.
I was going to say redacted, but there we go. Clean loot will be introduced into the Division 2. Some of the gear that you pick up in the Dark Zone will be contaminated, and obviously you'll have to go through the normal means of extraction. However, some of the loot that you do pick up will be clean, so you can basically equip it the minute you've got it, and you won't lose it if you die.
Is it still classed as contaminated? Did they call it a different word? I want to say it was something different. I don't know why.
It says so. Securing your contaminated loot is always a bit risky.
Yeah,
So,
I think they used the same word.
Oh, shut up.
this is obviously to make it fair for those players that go in for PvE and probably get dicked over by PvP players. It's just to make it fair at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I think this is a good change.
But this isn't that different to stuff we've had before, though. It's no different to what the DZ supply drops that have gone straight into your inventory.
Yeah, but the way they made it look in the videos and sound in the voiceover of the videos, this is going to be loot from various sources.
Boss drops.
Yeah, boss
stuff
drops
like that.
or NPC drops or whatever. So.
It's not like we have now. Like, yeah.
What I'm saying is they're using that similar system from the Dark Zone supply drops, and basically they're just calling it clean loot.
And clearing a landmark. You clear a landmark now, you get stuff straight to your loot, don't you?
I'd still like to think the weight of loot being contaminated is greater than the loot that's clean. It's still the Dark Zone.
Yeah, you would assume the contaminated stuff is better.
And that, I'd like that to be the case as well. But we just don't know at the moment, do they? They were a bit sketchy on details on that. But they did say somewhere that there's more Dark Zone news coming soon, didn't they? So we'll wait patiently for more information.
Okay, next up, the Dark Zone. There's going to be a new perk system introduced where Dark Zone level will matter more than anything before. And you'll get access to a new tree of bonuses, which will unlock every 5 Dark Zone levels. Apparently, they're not power-based, and they'll be able to improve your Dark Zone experience based on your playstyle, ranging from extra space for contaminated items, increased rewards for rogue agents, or additional opportunities for loot.
God, this is amazing.
So they've actually made the Dark Zone level count this time, rather than you can go to a vendor and buy stuff, which will probably still be the case, I imagine, but...
They didn't actually mention Dark Zone vendors at all, did they? Just the
There's one.
Just the thief one.
What's it vendor? Yeah, the thief one.
Is that, yeah.
The
I think the great line in this is, death is a rogue in the Darkzone comes at great cost of experience, though. So you're going to have to maintain your Darkzone level, and more importantly, these perks are a priority in the Division 2. So it looks like if you drop that many Darkzone levels, you're going to lose the perks that you've achieved.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Yeah, that is
and any bonuses.
Brilliant idea.
That makes people play cautiously.
Again, it's just
Cautiously, I said.
It's adding to the risk reward, isn't it? You know, if you want the rewards of going manhunt, you're risking losing whatever perks you're close to losing because you've dropped, let's say, 4 of your 5 DZ levels that you need for extra contaminated space or fucking rogue agent rewards, whatever. I love it. Love it. Great idea.
That's good. I think it's just another progression that is just awesome to see in this game. It's an RPG. It's a shooter RPG game, and they've got just feels like they're like, you want to do that? Cool. Progression system. You want to do that? You can have a progression system for that. I love it. Okay, this might be a little bit divisive.
You have a progression system. No, you have a progression system.
All right, Oprah, calm down.
Anyway.
No, you have a progression system.
Son of a bitch. Back to what I was saying. Marco put out a video today. Obviously, the embargo is lifted, and he was talking about voice over IP changes that have been adjusted for the Division 2. So, in the Division 2, voice over IP will be disabled once you go hostile in the Darkzone. If everyone is non-hostile, you will be able to chat anyway, but as soon as you go hostile, the rogue squad will be put onto a separate comms channel and cannot chat with
that's kind of
non-hostiles.
Bullshit. I'm sorry, that's kind of bullshit.
That's a great idea, in my opinion.
No, I disagree.
This coming from, right, we all play a certain game where toxicity is pretty damn high.
Whoa. We mention that other fucking game every video, and yet you want to talk about this game and you can't say it out loud. It's fucking Siege, damn it. Say it out loud.
I was waiting for one of you to say it.
No, you.
I mean, that was a harsher way of saying it, but we could have got there a lot more politely than that. Yeah, Siege toxicity. I mean, we love the chat in Siege. It's fucking great. Right, Rob?
Yeah, it's great. But then, yeah. I'm trying to explain the fact that Siege is only played by people that have played Siege for 3-4 years, and if they kind of know what they're doing, and they get pissed off with people that don't know what they're doing, that's where the toxicity comes from. Not like what Division toxicity is like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this is a way to basically combat that, isn't it? It's basically to combat the Division's form of toxicity, which it does have. You know, we've seen people. How many times have we been in VoIP chat? I mean, I think we ended up turning it off.
I never turned it off.
My VoIP's been turned off on PlayStation since before I met you two, and turned off on PC the day I ported over to PC.
Yeah.
So,
you missed out on a lot of funny things.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of bad things. I mean, there's enough toxicity without even getting to chat, because how many times have you been killed in the Darkzone by some guy that was like firing pot shots at you while the rest of his team killed you, and then he's the one that came over and clapped over your dead body? It's like, what? How does that even make any sense? You didn't even kill me. What the fuck? So, with this being a reaction to fight the toxicity that we are seeing in games nowadays, I do think it's a good idea. Plus, the amount of times I've seen people's videos where you're in the same, you've got VoIP on.
Yeah, this is going to ruin a lot of Wids' videos.
You can't wind them up anymore.
Thing is, this is one of those decisions that they're damned if they did and they're damned if they don't, aren't they? Because if they didn't do anything about potential toxicity in the Darkzone, everybody'd say, well, you just don't care about your player base. And now that they've done something about it, you know, you kind of given a split opinion of what the player base is about and how the player base will react, because, you know, there's 3 of us here and 2 of us like it and 1 of us don't. So
you can still talk shit when you're not in fight, right? So
exactly, yeah.
That's when most of the shit talking happens. So they haven't really done anything, to be honest.
They've done a little bit.
It just means you're going to have to go rogue.
Because when you're fighting, you're not talking shit. You're concentrating on what you're doing.
Disagree.
It's the baiting beforehand is when you're talking shit.
Look at me, la la la.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I think it happens all the way through, though, doesn't it? You just like. I don't really want to say some toxic shit out loud on the podcast, but when you kill somebody, there's an instant reaction to killing somebody, isn't there? So
there is you can shit talk people when you killed them and stuff, like before that if they're downed and stuff. But
what, woo, yeah, you better,
the verbal teabag, if you would.
I like that.
It's a nice way of putting it, I guess.
A lot of the shit talking happens when everyone's someone's gone rogue. And they've died, and then they've come back out of the checkpoint. They go, and they try and make everyone else go rogue, right?
Yeah,
that's when the shit talk happens, and this isn't gonna do anything about that. But I like where their head's at. But
let's be honest, if they're not happy with it, if the player base isn't happy with it, if it doesn't work, it'll get changed. That's it. At the end of the day, It will get adjusted to fit what needs. And that's pretty much for Darkzone news, really. There's a lot of information now, a lot to go through. Just before we do leave Darkzone information, I will say, anyone worried about obviously jumping straight into the Darkzone, you don't have to worry too much because your first visit to the Darkzone will be a PvE mission and you're only going to have to worry about factions. So it's kind of cool that they've kind of given you that PvE option to jump in the Darkzone, try it out, get a taste for it, get a feeling for what it's all about, and just obviously deal with the factions and not players. Do you think that's a good introduction, Rob?
Yeah, I think, and you get one of those missions per DZ area, right? From what I gathered from the videos, because there's 3 DZs, so you'll get 3 PvE missions to unlock each one.
That I really like the fact that we've got. It's just more, isn't it? You've got more stuff to do, so you could just unlock the first one for ages and be like, "Oh, cool! I'm gonna move on up to the next one now." You've still got a mission to do for it. Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
You can
Luke, what do you think about an introductory mission for the Darkzone?
Like it. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yep. Gets you familiar to the certain mechanics of it. Gets you familiar to the map. I think it's a great idea.
My question is, do you have to go rogue?
Didn't they say it was only AI? There was no actual PvP.
No, I know, but as part of the story mission, it'd be quite cool if they were like, you have to go rogue now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like an introductory mission. Yeah.
Now press Shift Z. Or whatever it is. Control Z. I can't remember what the fucking go rogue mechanics are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so something that took a long time to come to the Division 1 is a proper PvP mode. And I think we've all been a bit worried that it might not actually be there day one with the Division 2.
I was almost certain it wasn't going to be there day one.
Yeah, me too.
I agree with that. I didn't think it was going to be there day one. But like I said about the Darkzone stuff and the additional stuff that we've got at the minute, that we were like, well, maybe we might not get it for 6 months, or be introduced in the episodes and the DLC updates.
That would be content that I would gladly pay for.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Well, don't worry, Rob. You put your money back in your pocket because, dude, we're getting 3 PvP modes via conflict.
My money's the one in my pocket, dude.
Okay.
Give me something else to buy.
Because I'm sure there's going to be more DLC and microtransactions that you're going to be able to throw your money at over the next couple of months.
Woohoo!
Anyway, so 3 conflict modes, especially for PvP. I'm pretty sure it's 2 squads. It is 2 squads of 4. Is that correct? I can't remember from the video.
Yeah, for skirmish. Skirmish in Division 2 is basically the same as it is in Division 1.
No, it's really. Not. No. It's more like an elimination mode now.
It's control from Destiny. With elimination involved.
Okay, so we've got 3 modes. 1 skirmish, which is obviously making a comeback from the Division 1. Last Stand is not making a return. We are getting Team Deathmatch, and hopefully there's not a PvE mode being introduced into that as well.
What? No Last
Stand? You've got the rest of the game, unfortunately. And finally, something I fucking love. I love this game mode. I'm pretty sure we've shouted about it on here since last stand. Please make it happen. Domination.
Oh no,
will
that's
be coming.
that's the control points.
Yeah, that's the one you're thinking of.
Yes.
Domination will be coming to the Division 2 at launch. How do you feel about those 3 game modes? Obviously, the fact that we've even got PvP game modes at launch.
I think it's brilliant. I really do. Like you said, I can't put it better than you said it. We've been shouting for domination mode within Division 1 since Last Stand came out. You know, exactly the same as you said. Skirmish is skirmish. 4v4. It's like team deathmatch, but it counts on getting the kill rather than downing the agents and all that sort of whatever.
The only difference now is that in skirmish, each team has a set number of respawns this time. So revives are actually going to matter, whereas obviously you
my understanding of that then is almost like hardcore team deathmatch then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
No.
It's elimination from Destiny, as Rob was trying to say.
Yeah, I didn't play that.
My wonder now is, do we get matchmaking and then we can start our own trials? I mean, whatever.
You mean
private matchmaking, you mean?
Private matching.
Yeah.
Private matching? Matchmaking.
That would be the dream, wouldn't it?
Make it so, please.
If we're not having to pay for the PvP modes, can we pay for the matchmaking modes, please? Please.
Ubisoft,
Rob's got money to throw at, so
I've got money in my pocket that doesn't want to stay there. Please take our money, make it.
I'd pay for that,
so we can customize that shit.
Imagine, please. Discord group on Wednesdays with organised.
Just as we're talking about organised PvP. Sorry to overthrow everyone talking. Blah blah blah
blah blah blah.
Back to the Darkzone, where we have 3 different range type maps. Are we going to assume that the PvP maps are coming from those Darkzone areas? Because we are. No,
they're not. So basically, you have 3 maps that are completely removed from the rest of the explorable map. I assume that is including the Darkzone.
That's how I understood it. Yeah.
Is it in the videos that I didn't watch?
Yes.
Probably, dude.
Those videos that you claimed you watched?
I did watch, but I must have missed that bit.
Right, okay.
But basically, these 3 maps that are designed for the 3 game modes are specifically designed for PvP, for this PvP.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did it.
It's be awesome.
Yeah. Not only that, but conflict mode will have, just like the Darkzone, a separate progression system for gear unlocks, skill leveling, and class upgrades.
Fucking
that is fucking cool. That is fucking awesome. I think that's pretty much it. The only thing I will say, I don't know if either of you picked it up, but on one of the PvP videos that was shown, did you notice out of the 4 players at the top, you could see their specializations? What they were running.
No, I didn't actually.
Did you see that, Rob?
No.
So, like, either that or maybe I've got it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the case. You have to check it out after the video. I'm pretty sure where you would normally have, like, the players, like, rogue or SHD stats at the top of the screen. I put an image in the show notes. They've basically got instead what the person's running specialization wise. So instead of those, you get a specialization there instead, which is pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
And it reminded me of Siege because you can kind of tell what the other person's building.
Yeah.
Build is on the other team.
Yeah, that'd be cool if that's. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, that'd be cool if that's accurate. You're already doubting yourself, aren't you? But yeah, if that's.
I am.
If that's accurate, then yeah, that is great.
I will double check the video after we've recorded.
I'd like to see. I can't remember how you do it in that D word, but you can view other people's build or loadout or whatever you want to call it in Destiny 2, can't you? And you could do it in skirmish, Last Stand. Yeah, I'd like to see that for all the PvP modes and the Darkzone, to be honest. But I don't know whether we'll get that. But that would be cool. If they're giving stuff that we're asking for, I think that'd be a great addition to these.
What are you smiling at, Rob?
Nothing at all.
Okay, so 2 things before we leave organized PvP. First up, matchmaking will be coming back, and it will be skill-based matchmaking. Rob,
Woo!
are you happy with
A
that?
little bit. As long as they do it properly.
Agreed.
As long as it is actually.
Does that please you?
Although. Yeah, it's good.
As someone that plays a game in skill-based matchmaking, do you think it's a good thing?
I do, yeah. I like that they keep calling it skill-based matchmaking. I hope they've spoken to the Rainbow Six teams, because their skill-based matchmaking is infinitely better than Division 1's skill-based matchmaking. I also like the news we got for the weighted matchmaking in the Dark Zones. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but if you are solo in the Dark Zone, it will try its best to put you in a server that's got more solo players in it. As I say, it's not hard and fast. It's not guaranteed, because that's almost impossible. But yes, they're trying to make it fairer matchmaking in the Dark Zone as well.
Sounds fucking awesome. And I think the best thing from today, I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but at the end of the video, they were basically like, all the updates will come with the DLC episodes, and that will be for the DZ and Conflict, the PvP modes, including modes. You will get extra modes to these PvP options.
Right. So what you mean is, within some of or all of the episodes, the free content that we're getting for year 1, there will be extra modes within the Dark Zone and Conflict and stuff like that.
I will say now, I'm pretty sure that is the case, but I know we're 100% getting additional content for both the PvP organized mode and the Dark Zones.
Right, cool. Yeah.
We will definitely be getting. Now, that could be maps for the organized PvP,
yep,
or that could be new game modes.
Yeah.
You could just have.
I'd have to admit I completely missed that bit in any of the videos that I've watched, and as I say, I only watched half of Marco Styles, so I don't know if that was in that. People like him, Wids, Lieutenant Buzz Lightyear, Rideout or Taylor, they've all got multitudes of videos to come out in the next few days, haven't they? Now the embargo's been lifted, so what one person's putting a video today might not be in somebody else's video till tomorrow. So yeah, that bit's passed me by, but yeah, that is cool. I've been wondering what's coming in the episodes, free DLCs, to be honest, because they've mentioned nothing about those since pretty much since E3, I think. So that'd be cool.
Nice. That's it, really, with regards to news on the Dark Zone and the PvP modes. Overall thoughts, guys. I mean, I've seen the trailer just as much as you guys. Obviously, we've gone through the news, and I'm really happy with the direction this is going. I was just freaking ecstatic earlier, and we've tried to capture that a little bit now instead of recording a couple of days later. But how do you guys feel about it?
When's the beta?
That is February 6th to the 10th.
Was that on Xbox? The 7th on PC, right?
Oh, is it on Xbox?
Xbox gets it a day earlier.
Right.
Well, that's around my birthday time, so I'm like, yay. And yeah, this news is just like best thing since sliced bread, right?
I was fucking hyped when I realised that they were letting Dark Zone stuff out today. I knew it had been rumoured for a while because the embargo dates that were or weren't rumoured to be being lifted today, but you know, until you see it, you never quite believe all the bullshit, do you? So when I got home and saw there was 2 videos to watch that you'd put in our Facebook chat, and then there was an Intelligence Annex to read as well, so it's like, fucking yes, let's go. Bought my ticket to the hype train, fucking packed my luggage, motherfucking chew.
Yeah, but the thing is, dude, you packed your luggage last March. You've just been waiting to catch the fucking train.
Now it's on the train, bro. I'm ready to go. Well,
we're not quite at the station
through security.
yet.
We're We're eating breakfast in the...
Not missing the train. I am not missing this fucking train. Get your breakfast down, you quick. Let's fucking go.
We're in the gate having a pint, waiting for the train.
Can we have a pint on the train and just get on the train first?
Okay, I'm going to end it now because I don't think we need to go any further on that. Otherwise, people are going to be, what the fuck are they on about?
No, they'll know. They'll know. Anyone that's listened previously will know.
Anybody knows what we're on about.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of news this week. Jesus Christ, the embargo being lifted is basically going to take a couple of weeks to really kind of sink in everything that's kind of dropped.
We've had a lot of feedback as well. We should probably...
we'll get to an episode of that.
Yeah, just an episode of feedback would be good. Mike's like, stop talking right now. He's like, what? No,
I just
you have gone completely off reservation with that suggestion, though.
Yeah, well, we can hold on. We can hold off and actually talk about that a little bit more next week. Obviously, depending on news, but it's been a huge day for news, and obviously, this is not everything. There's been other stuff as well. It's actually confirmed now. There's a 40-hour campaign. Ballistic shields have been dropped in the official PlayStation magazine. So there's new stuff on that side of it as well.
Oh yeah, did you see in the trailers some of the shields get shot off and you can shoot over the top of it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're also seeing the Hive stuff as well working.
Yeah.
Which looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
All right, Maurice, calm down.
I think he sounds a bit like Muttley as well.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I need a piss. Let's just finish the show. Yeah.
Before we go, we've got 2 questions. I'll save the feedback for next week, but we do have two questions I do feel we have to answer. First one is from Snake762.
Yes.
And he said,
finished.
DZ and PvP videos have just dropped. Get Captain Alki out the pub and get recording. Can't wait to hear the next podcast. Any hunters in the DZ? No hunters in the DZ confirmed as of yet, but we'll see.
No hunters at all, really.
Rob, welcome back from the pub.
I haven't been to the pub.
Get Captain Alki
I
out.
wish.
I like that. GG on that comment, Snake. I like that.
And final question comes from Fluffy Bubble on Discord. Who of you will live in each zone?
Do I really need to answer that?
Yeah, I think we'll all be unoccupied, to be honest.
I'm going to drag you both in there, kicking and screaming.
Dude, you don't need to drag us. We're going to be going in together. We'll be holding each other's hands.
We'll be dragging Boris with us to heal us.
We're saying Boris is our dedicated healer for Division 2. Boris, you heard it now.
As much as he hates that.
Anyway, obviously, thank you very much to everyone who sent questions and feedback. We will go into the feedback next week, just due to time. Okay, thank you very much. Roberts, where can the listeners find us?
You can find us over at SITREP Radio on Twitter. I didn't say that. At SITREP Radio on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. As well as our... Oh my God, I'm ruining this.
Your purse? Did you say
I haven't done this in ages, so I'm really rusty.
You've done it 140 odd fucking times, dude.
No, but I'm shit at reading. I'm just generally really shit at reading. Yeah, find us on our personal accounts as well. Send any questions or feedback for the show to sitradio@gmail.com.
Wrong.
sitradio.pod@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Or you can find us... No one emails us anyway. It doesn't matter. Or you can find us on Discord. The link will be in the show notes. We want to hear your thoughts. What are you doing, Mike?
No, don't worry. My God, I distracted him. Why the fuck did I distract him?
We want to hear your thoughts on the news and the topics we've covered in the show. So please leave a comment and join our discussion in any of those places. Luke?
I'm not Luke, but I'm going to jump in and just say, if you don't want to send a message via email, head over to our Discord, because that is probably the best place to give us any thoughts and feedback on the show and what you think of the news.
Bullets and beers.
It should be in the show notes or in the description if you listen to this on YouTube.
Luke.
Please leave a review of the show using the podcast app of your choice. We really do enjoy reading them all. The feedback is excellent, and at the end of the day, it does help other people to actually find our show. If you listen all the way to the very end of the show, you will hear a load of juicy details about the other awesome shows that are available on the Mash Those Buttons network. Thank you.
You're really good at reading, by the way.
I'm 34 years old. I learned to read a fucking long time ago, dude.
Well done, anyway.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm proud of you.
That could not have sounded more condescending. We do live stream as often as we can, so if you're interested in dropping by and watching me fail at survival, you can come check us out over at twitch.tv/SITREP Radio. And before we do leave, we've been challenged, boys, by the Div Central podcast.
Oh, fuck off.
Challenged? I'm listening. You've piqued my interest.
Well, you guys know what sliced bread is, right?
Yeah, it's bread that's been sliced.
Well, I'm just checking. You passed the test. And you can make a sandwich. You've got two hands, right?
I make a decent sandwich, yeah. I've been making them for a long time as well.
Well, you don't have to make a sandwich. I'm just, putting it out there that you can make a sandwich.
You just spit it out, dude. What's the challenge?
Is there a point to your fucking incessant rambling?
They want us to make sandwiches.
I'm not making Scratch and Elvin a sandwich. They can fuck off.
And posting it to up north.
I'll make a shit sandwich. You laughed at it. No, I'm messing. They did actually challenge us on episode 9 of the Div Central podcast to a survival run.
Oh, fuck off.
Fastest survival run with at least a minimum of 2 podcast representatives.
Oh, so we can leave Rob behind?
Yeah, you can leave me out of it. Yes, brilliant.
But it has to be a 4-man squad.
Has to be a 4-man squad. Well, we're fucked then. We have to bring Rob with us because we've got like one friend. Boris, we need your help, dude.
Yeah, but we did 3-man last time, so we just cheat and just use 3-man.
We'll get accused of cheating on this as well because we'll be on PC and they'll be like, you had to use console. No, they're not Sylvester Stallone. They're just northern weirdos.
Are we accepting that? Or
I'm down.
Ooh, Rob?
Yeah,
it's down to
down.
Rob. I mean, we're just pointing in the direction of the.
They've just like challenged us at my weakness, though.
Basically, what me and you need to do, Rob, is Mike, is stand either side of Rob so he can't go in a contaminated area and just run in a straight line. We'll be fine.
Yeah, and just go.
He's suddenly Beavis and Butthead. It is a speed run, so technically it is in your favor. If anything, it's gonna.
I'll just die, and then you guys can take over, right?
And
done.
We need to find out what the terms and conditions are because I can't remember if all four of us have to extract. That would be the challenge because getting 4 people to extract to me would be quite difficult.
They should just make it solo.
If that's not in the rules,
then we'll just make Boris players.
We should team up with Boris. All of us 3 die and just let Boris finish it really quick because he's the best out of 4 of us.
They've got not Chuck. They've got Gus. He's like a survival guru.
Yeah, but he's old, isn't he? How fast can his thumbs move? He's old man Gus. That's his name.
He knows where everything is because he's like an elephant. He knows what he remembers.
He knows what he remembers.
No, I didn't mean to say that. I mean, he remembers everything, like Boris does.
I've called him old, and you've called him an elephant.
That's
is that what you meant to say? Fuck me. Right, that's it. We're done. We'll see if the challenge is worthy. If we can do it. That's probably the most consideration we can say. Anyway, we have been SITREP Radio. Another disastrous ending to the show. Well done, lads.
I think
I did it again.
I think that was one of the best.
Yeah, it was the best. I mean, we learned about elephants today. If anything, we learned about elephants. Cheers, Rob. Thank you for listening. I guess we'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secure.